Hello everyone and welcome to class 8 history chapter number 7. The name of the chapter is Education and British Rule. So today in this video we will learn about education in pre-British times. So let's begin. Before starting of this chapter, let us quickly recall the things that we have learned so far and how this idea of promoting education came into the mind of the Britishers. That also we'll understand now. As so far we have learned that slowly and slowly as the Britishers they have conquered all the territories of India and finally have took control over all the resources of the territories. Now they want to move to their next mission. According to them, according to the Britishers, the Indians were uncivilized. Now, what is the meaning of uncivilized? It means a person is, for them, the Indians, all the Indians are socially, culturally, and morally not at all advanced. And they want the Indians to be advanced in socially, culturally, and morally. They want to make them as civilized. In order to make them civilized, they want to have education, especially Western education, to impart on them. So this idea of education came into the mind of the Britishers to educate Indian, and that too also you will learn, you will come to know that they are educating, again they are educating the Indians just for their own benefit only. Alright, now moving further, coming to this one, that is education before British rule. Education before British rule, as we know, the education system there in India were like entirely different what it was there previously. The education, the elementary education, or talk about the higher education, both these type of educations were done in pathshalas, maktabs, the elementary education, whereas higher education was there done in tolls and madrasas. So these were the places. There were no proper school and colleges for the education, and the teacher, they are known as guru. They used to call the student to their home only, to their house, to give them to provide them, to teach them orally. So the education at that period of time were imparted orally. There were also no curriculum, no fixed curriculum at all, no prescribed textbooks were there. And the interesting thing for you people, it will be like no examination at all during that time. The language in which the education were they were provided, they are getting, it was Sanskrit, Persian, and Arabic. And the subject which they are learning, which that is law, religion, logic, medicine, and astronomy. So these were the subject which the guru they were teaching to the students without the textbook, without the curriculum, without any sort of examination. They are orally teaching the students. So this was the system of education at that period of time, which is quietly like different, which is entirely different from the system which is prevailing nowadays. The Britishers now they want to impart modern education. They want to educate Indians. They want to impart Western education to the Indians. As I have told you before that to educate Indian, this was again one of, there is again one of the reason, one of the motive of the Britishers. And what are the motives? That the Britishers they want to look after the administration, and to look after the administration they want good, like educated people who can work as clerks to maintain records. Also the Indians they don't understand English, so they want the English, they want the Indians to understand English. And also the most important thing is that it is very difficult to bring the people from Britain in a very less salary. So they want to educate Indians only and give them a small jobs in a low salary, and then the Indians, the educated Indians will work for the Britishers. So appointing people from Britain for less salary were like it was also impossible. So they want the Indians only to have the modern education and to work for the British. then these were the reason why they wanted Indians to learn English. So this was the major reason why the Britishers, they want to impart modern education to the Indians. The next here is Orientalist. Now who is Orientalist? The one who wanted to spread Oriental education. Another question will come into your mind, that what is Oriental education? Oriental education is that education in which the person is learning about about his own history, the history of his own country, will rediscover his lost heritage, and that too the medium of instruction will be Sanskrit and Persian, the local language in which the individual is getting education, that is Oriental education. Vernacular language learning was important as Hindu and Muslims laws were needed for judicial purpose. Vernacular language means the local language, generally the first language, and for which what the individual understand for. So the knowledge of this is must. And there was a Orientalist. Okay, it was Sir William. He was Sir William Jones. He was a linguistic. Linguist means the person who can read, write and speak several languages. So in the year 1783, Sir William Jones, he came to Kolkata, like Calcutta, now it's called as Kolkata. And when he came to India in 1783, he developed interest in Sanskrit language. So he started learning about Sanskrit language, and as he is having Sanskrit language, he's having a good understanding of Sanskrit language. So he have also translated many of the things, different subject, and translated many of them. Now, what he think? Who? That is Sir William Jones. What William Jones believed, started thinking that we should provide knowledge or educate the Indians in their own language only. We should not provide or impart them Western education. Rather, we should provide them the education in their local language, that is vernacular language. Why? Because first of all, in the local language, the Indians would very easily understand their own history, as well as they will also rediscover their lost heritage. Secondly, the next important thing, it will also help the British to know about the Indian culture. If the British, they will understand Sanskrit, they will learn about Sanskrit, then they will also understand about the culture of India. So these were the major belief of Sir William Jones. So according to him, the education should be provided in the local language, that is basically Sanskrit and Persian should be the medium of instruction for the Indians. So they believe too, Orientalists were concerned about regional studies, not the Western studies. For this reason, there was the first institution set up, that is the Calcutta Madrasa was set up by Warren Hastings, and Warren Hastings was the Governor General at that time. So he was also supporter of Orientalist view. He also believed that okay, the Indians should know about their language. They should be imparting education should be imparted to them in their local vernacular language only. So he set up the Calcutta Madrasa for Muslim education in the year 1781. In the Calcutta Madrasa, as it was set up in the year 1781 in Calcutta, it was set up by Warren Hastings. This is the picture of the Calcutta Madrasa, and the basic purpose was for the study of Muslim law and related subject. Also, in Sanskrit college was set up known as Banaras Sanskrit College, which was established by Jonathan Duncan in the year 1791 for the study of Hindu law and philosophy. So slowly and slowly different colleges and madrasas began to set up there in India, and which were supporting the Orientalist view. Okay. Next is the Anglists. Now, who are the Anglists and what do they believe? It is quite easy and simple to understand. Okay, as we have learned that Orientalists, they believe that the Indians should get their knowledge or should get their education in their local language only, in their vernacular language. But what the Anglists they think, one of the Anglist, that is the believer, who the one who used to think that the Indian learning is was unscientific and it is full of superstitions. So one of the Britisher known as James Mill, he was in the view, or what he felt of Indian education. He used to say that the education should be practical and India should be imparted Western learning, not the local learning. His views were also supported by Lord Thomas Macaulay. So there were two people, two Britishers whose thinking were very different, and they were James Mill and Lord Thomas Macaulay. According to them, the education should be provided to Indians as Western learning. They believed that the Oriental learning was completely inferior to European learning. Western education, European education should be provided to the Indians, not the Oriental education. And this was their major thinking, or what they used to think. Knowledge of Western learning and English was essential for the Indians. Bengalis set up Calcutta Hindu College in the year 1817 for English education. So the Anglists also set up for putting up their views. They set up Calcutta Hindu College in the year 1817 to impart, and here the medium of instruction is not Sanskrit or Persian, rather it is English education. Raja Ram Mohan Roy forced the British to promote Indian education for the welfare of the country, but there were certain educators or reformers who also forced the British that okay, if you are forcing us to have English education, then you should also promote or teach the Indians as some of the Indian education should be provided to them, and this will be just because for the welfare of the country. So as you have seen, there is certain conflict or clash in the viewpoint of the Orientalist also and of the Anglists also. So there is a debate, a thinking is quite different of the Orientalist and the Anglists. Orientalist and Anglists debate was a debate between, that is what they used to think, Orientalist and Anglist due to the issue of language for the medium of instruction in India. This was the major debate. What should be the medium of instruction? The Orientalist, according to them, the medium of instruction should be Persian and Sanskrit, but the Anglists, they think or they believe that the medium of instruction should be English only. So the Orientalists were the people who wanted to promote education in India through the medium of classical language such as Persian, Sanskrit and Arabic. They are known as Orientalists. Anglists are the person were the person who wanted to promote Western education in India which support English as the medium of instruction. So these two are the clear-cut definition of Orientalists and Anglists. Further, here we have introduction of Western education that is done by East India Company. So finally the Britishers, they want the Indian to be educated, and that too the medium of instruction should be English. So the English East India Company showed a very little interest in promotion of education in India. Okay, the only purpose of setting up some educational institution in India was to ensure a steady supply of Indians to law courts set up by the company. The major want or need for the Britishers is handful, some of the educated Indian only who will work for them. They only want that much educated Indians, that's it. So only few colleges were being set up by East India Company, and Indians' knowledge of classical language was used to establish correspondence with the native states by East India Company officials. And classical languages were not at all given much importance. it was the Western education, the European education which was promoted by the East India Company. There are certain merits and demerits of the Western education in India that we will understand now. So if the question will come there in exam, that list merit and demerit of introduction of Western education in India. So let us now understand some of the merits and demerits. Coming to merits first. Western education was the remedy of social, economical and political ills of the nation. As the person will be have Western education, so he will be like civilized and he will be socially, economically and politically advanced. That was the thinking of the Britishers, but it was that was the thinking of the Britishers, and it will also develop the nation. Then Western education gives people of the nation the right to avail government services. If the person is having or getting Western education, then he might get a good post, a good job in the civil services, in the police and army, as a clerk. So there is more scope of getting governmental job, governmental service when a person is having Western education. Coming to demerits. Introduction of Western education in India neglects mass education in the country. So this feeling of educating the whole country, that is educating all the Indians and providing the Western education, it is not for everyone, it is not for all, and it is basically done only, or it is only for it is neglecting the mass education in the country. Western education could destroy the faith of Indians in their own religion, and if a person is getting more of the Western education, then it also destroys the faith of Indians in their own religion, because Western education is very much different from the Indian education. So these are the merits and the demerits. So with this, we came to an end of the first video, where we have learned about the education in the pre-British times as well as the views of the Orientalists and Anglists. With the help of this video, kindly complete your notes. Thank you.